And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Sports Analyst Podcast. We're back. It's been a wild weekend of sports. The NFL kicked off. College football was absolutely a blaze. Jessa, have you recovered?
No, no, not at all. In fact, this is part of the reason why we're doing two episodes this week. I need a therapy session for a few things, for sure.
Yes, which is a great intro for us. We are doing two episodes this week. This one is coming to you early on Tuesday morn, and the next one will come to you on Thursday morn. This is probably going to be hopefully what our cadence is during the season. It's a lot of content to try and fit into one show, so we're going to break it up for you. Um, Jessa, let's get in. I see you have a hot take to kick us off, which I always love, and I tend to very much agree with this one. So let's hear it.
Okay, and I want to hear your thoughts too. I'm going to start with a story. So, back at Lavelle Edwards Stadium, they do, first of all, Lavelle Edwards Stadium does an amazing job with the in-game experience. Okay, that's the first thing I'll say. Anyways, and we'll get into what actually happened in the game, but I'm waiting for the third quarter to start. I'm scrolling Twitter, because that's one of my coping mechanisms, and I see this tweet from one of the AP voters, Brett McMurphy.
Oh
And
no.
yeah, and he says, "My updated AP top 25 ballot. I've just submitted it. Ohio State remains number one. New teams, da da da." So he kind of talks about what his ballot is. And I do a double take. And I'm like, is this a tweet from last week? Because I'm watching a game go on right now. There's like three other games going on.
Yep.
An AP voter submitted his ballot before the game's finished? Especially, so I was blown away. And not come to find out, multiple people do that. So it's basically confirmed that those who submit ballots for the AP top 25 teams, a poll that is very important in the early seasons of college football,
Very much so.
they don't care to let the games finish before they submit their ballots. So it's basically confirmed now. They don't watch the games. So why in the world is the AP poll a thing? Why in
I don't
the
know.
world are we giving any credence to this stupid poll? And the answer, of course, is probably money. But my hot take is I firmly believe that there is a conspiracy going on. And it's not a conspiracy theory, it's a conspiracy fact, as AJ and Brigham
Yes.
say. There is some underhanded shiz going on. Kyle Whittingham is getting on the phone with the powers that be and say, "Hey, what do I need to do, or what are you guys gonna do to get me a top 10 vote this week?" Let's see, Brian Kelly on the phone, Dabo Sweeney on the phone, right? To get all of these big names the recognition they deserve, in quotes. I think the AP poll is a sham, and I don't think it should believe it. I don't think it should exist. That was ridiculous.
Uh, I'm 100% with you. That is absolutely just asinine to post that at, what does it say, 12, 10, 12,
10,
10,
12.
12. The BYU get and BYU, this isn't some like New Mexico UNLV game. This isn't UNLV UCLA, right? Two teams that are absolute bollock shacks. This is BYU. This is a team that was top 12 in the country last year for 90% of the year. This is a team that has been receiving votes. How on earth are you going to like what? Especially the way BYU started the game, you're just gonna like, oh, this is completely in hand one way or the other. Like, I absolute nonsense. The AP poll is a complete sham, like you said. I'm going to do something about this. I'm not going to put the AP top 25 rankings on my weekend watch guide this week. Not going to do it. Not going to do any sort of rankings on the weekend watch guide until the CFP rankings come out. And those are even a joke, but we'll get to those when they come out. It is stupid. And look at how many SEC teams, just everyone, just take a second, guess how many SEC teams are in the top 25. Three, two, one. It's 11.
Okay.
11. Yeah. It's
Half of the top
literally
25.
40% of the top 25 is from one conference. And a conspiracy, believe it or not, it is a conspiracy fact. This is all like mafia politicking to get the SEC more money. So, yeah, I'm totally with you, Jess. That's basically what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah, I'm kind of okay. Beautiful. I'm just gonna pretend they don't exist, is kind of where we
Uh,
are. Because it's
yep.
taking too much energy. Disgusting. Okay, thank you for letting
Just
that get off my chest. We can move on now.
yep. Just look past it.
Hmm.
Just look past it. All right. Our next topic is the most important topic. You guys are probably wondering, why doesn't Jared have some cool like college football photo in his background? It's because I am on the ocean right now, as you can clearly see. I'm sitting here in Tulum next to Austin Butler. Caught Stealing, very good movie. You should see it. Yeah, so there was a BYU game on Saturday night. I I went to bed at halftime because my mental and emotional state was not in a good place. Uh, so let's kind of revisit this game. I want to learn more about this game because, like I said, I did not watch the second half because it was not. I became a safety hazard to myself and those around me, and so I decided to go to bed. Um, and it was helped by the Falcons playing the next day. Anyway, um, Jessa, I don't even know where to start with this game. Um, I mean, we won 27-3. What's your knee-jerk reaction, biggest takeaway?
Here is, I think I've talked about it so much in the last little bit. Um, and I feel like I'm beating a drum. Our defense is elite, and our offense needs if we want to be an elite team, our offense needs serious revamp. From culture to coach to scheme, we're back here. Special teams is elite. Uh, Defense is elite. Offense is barely P4 level. That's that's my
Yes.
takeaway. And you can make all the excuses you want, but and we could still win games with this team as it's built. Um, but until I see evidence otherwise, that's how I feel.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. I would 100% agree. Our offense is just absolute dog shite. There is no other way around it. Our defense, like you said, elite. It is god tier at home, and our offense is horrible. I have some texts that I want to read from the game. By the way, I just remember what shirt I'm wearing. It
Uh,
says careful, I'm grumpy. You can't see it because of the thing, but anyway, that's because of our offense. Let me read a couple of these, Jess, and this will kind of help us get into a little bit more discussion.
okay, wait. First,
Um,
can we hold on really
yes.
fast just to give a recap
Yep.
of the game too, so we know the
Mhm.
context around this. Uh, First quarter, we score a touchdown on like our second or third drive, and go for two with the dumbest 2 point conversion play I've ever seen in my life. And we've also seen it like 5 times that day from other teams. So I don't know
Yep.
what TikTok was trending that A-Rod got that play from. But second quarter, we've got 8 points. So that's two field goals and a safety from the
Right, right.
defense.
No touchdown.
No
Heaven
touchdowns.
forbid.
Nope. Third quarter, we get a field goal, and then Moa runs it in for a touchdown. And then fourth quarter, we get a singular field goal. So,
Sick. That's
yeah,
that's great.
we were in the red zone 6 times, and
Oof.
we had two touchdowns and four field goals. We started at
Okay.
the 50-yard line or closer. How many times? I can't remember. 4 times, and we got 6 points out of it. So, okay, let's read some of these texts now, Jared. Now that we have the context and the mind frame of where everybody was.
All right, let's just start things off with one from Matt. This was a fun exercise just for everybody to relive the game. Does Bear have a choice to change backs to max protect if he reads a blitz? Seems like he should have the time to rattle off a cadence, push pause, point out those who are coming, then snap. I know I'm so smart for inventing this. Does A-Rod watch football? That was a very astute observation, Matt. Um, that kind of, I mean, Bear was getting absolutely blitzed all night. The narrative BOU is pushing is that, oh, we didn't see that on film. Good to know that we can't adjust to something that we don't see in the prep. That's great. That lot of faith.
Because it's not like it happened once and then we
Right,
adjusted. No, we gave
right,
up three pretty bad sacks based on purely missed assignments and not recognizing the blitz. So,
right. Right. And these sacks, you know, took us out of field goal range, took us out of touchdown scoring range, into field goal range. Like these are very bad sacks. These aren't just like, oops. No, these are costing us major points.
Yeah.
Kevin chimed in and said, I've now changed my expectations. I want improvement quarter over quarter. So I want to see more than 32 yards total offense in the third quarter. That's pretty
Wonderful.
sad.
I can't remember how many yards we had in the second quarter. But it was less, maybe it was 31. Maybe that's what he's saying. It was the worst, sorry, not in the third quarter, in the second quarter. It was the worst offensive quarter I've seen from BYU probably since 2017. I'm gonna be completely honest. Like that was abysmal.
Do you want me to read you our drive chart from the second
Yeah,
quarter?
please. That'd be
Okay.
great.
5 plays, -7 yards, field goal. 6 plays, 5 yards, punt. 4 plays, -11 yards, punt. 6 plays, 27 yards, punt.
Um, we're net like 5 yards, I think. That's
Yeah,
5 yards
that's
in the second.
disgusting.
Hmm.
Absolutely disgusting. And this is BYU's offense. Yeah. Horrific. Absolutely. I was trying to put this like peaceful vibes out here because I'm trying to be calm. I'm trying to go into the bye week calm. I had a really bad weekend and I'm trying to be calm. It is all coming right back. Jacob, Kalani is way too nice, but he's been good this last year, so I pray that he is ripping Aaron a new ass crack right now. Um, I don't think Kalani has that in him. I really don't. He needed Tuiaki to physically step down before he fired Tui. Like he didn't even fire Tuiaki. Tuiaki had to come in and say, "Fire! I quit," because it was so bad. So I really have no hope for Kalani to make any sort of changes, especially if we keep winning games, right? By some sheer stupid luck. Um, yeah, I don't see us making a move any time in the near future. I don't know if you feel differently, Jess.
Nope. It's really interesting, especially working with coaches, and obviously not at the same level, right? I know a few college coaches. But notice how Kalani talks in post game or media pressers about the defense. He says, "Yeah, they made mistakes, but I'm not worried about it because Jay Hill's gonna rip him a new one in film." Like word
Yeah.
for word, he's said that. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but he said that he's gonna get on their case, right?
Yep. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And look at how the defense plays. Were there any defensive penalties? Did we have a single, maybe one?
I didn't see any in the first half.
We maybe had one defensive penalty that whole game. Maybe.
Yeah.
Um, they play disciplined because they're held to a high standard, right?
Hmm.
Aaron Roderick, AJ, and I'm gonna quote AJ from yesterday. She was like, every time I listen to a interview from him, I'm thinking, there's no one is running through a wall for that guy, right?
Yeah. No
Um,
chance.
so that's the nature of the two rooms, and I'm with you. It's gonna take something catastrophic for us to have any type of change.
Right. Yeah. It's this is completely unacceptable. Jackson had a good point. He said Bear looking much more immobile in the pocket than I was led to believe. Low key, this is kind of true. Bear is not as fast as I thought. He's not as quick as I thought. He is big, and like when he ran over the linebacker into the end zone, that was like, oh, come on. But he's not as elusive as I really thought. And again, this is Stanford's defense. This isn't, this isn't Utah or Iowa State that we're playing, right? This is Stanford. I don't know. He's not immobile at all, but he's just not like elusive per se,
Yeah, and where was the play action where he rolls out of the pocket? Like, where was that? Every play
right?
action was like an RPO bubble or a peak slant or something that got it out of his hands, like immediately, or had him sitting in the pocket looking with his eyes downfield and getting absolutely blasted by a rusher.
Right,
So, play calling didn't help that either.
right. I have a theory about this play calling. I know we're kind of like we're using these texts as kind of a way to talk about the game. I have a theory about the play calling, and I don't believe it personally because I don't trust A-Rod to think this far ahead. If I'm a coach and I'm watching the Stanford Hawaii game and I know what I have in my defense, and I'd like at home, Jay Hill's defense versus that offense, I think as soon as we scored our first touchdown, I think the entire coaching staff, I don't think, this is a theory, the whole coaching staff might have thought this game is over. There's no chance Stanford is getting in the end zone unless we throw a pick six. And so the whole rest of the game, as soon as we scored that first touchdown, they're like, that's it. Game over. Stanford is not getting in the end zone. We don't have to call a single like good play. We don't have to do anything. We are just going to play the most vanilla FCS game plan that we ever could because the only way Stanford beats us is if we throw a pick or fumble or something. I don't personally believe that because I don't think I don't know. Yes, we are conservative, but I don't like I didn't have enough faith in our offense. We weren't executing even the stupid plays at a high enough level for me to believe that. But to play devil's advocate, I don't know.
I have battered fan syndrome when it comes to saying, "Oh, they're not opening up the playbook." Because that's what they said in 2023 and that's what they said in 2017. And so
True.
and in 20 in last year, we were absolutely throwing downfield. We were actually Jake wasn't a seasoned quarterback, right?
Right.
He wasn't a true freshman, right? So I want to believe that that's true, Jared. I like that theory, and we will see in time, and I'm willing to experiment on it.
Right. Right. Again, do we believe this? No. But we are leaving space in the universe for it to exist.
It's plausible.
Um, it is plausible. This one from Kevin is quite fun. He says the crowd has decided A-Rod needs to be sacrificed to the college football gods and thrown off of Kiv Peak on the full moon. As you can see, the what's the word? The vibes around A-Rod have just deteriorated greatly. And I think I pulled this from like the start of the second quarter. Um, I really don't know what to say here besides A-Rod stinks. Like, at what point is it like? Can you stop putting it on the players or the defense or what you did or didn't see in prep? At what point do we have to say, okay, this is a giant problem?
Here's the deal about the fact that they say, "Oh, we missed assignments," right? And that can be true. Uh, but for years we've been saying as BYU fans, well, we don't have the talent to match up, and that's why maybe like we lose on assignments, we lose one-on-one battles, right? And that's not on the coaches. Like they can recruit as much as they recruit, right? But in-game performance, like if your guys just aren't capable of executing, that's one thing. I don't feel like we have that excuse anymore. At a certain point as a coach, you've got to get your kids to execute, especially if you've leveled up your talent. And so I won't accept that those excuses anymore. It's like, no. Hold them to, and I'm gonna let this play out for the season. If we repeatedly miss assignments, then I'll up this take. Right now, I'm seeing glimpses of it. The coaches have got to get their boys in order.
Yep, yep, 100%. Jessa, this next one's from you. Why is Parker still fielding punts? Unacceptable. Sit his butt down. You had an interesting text today in Sports Analyst. It sounds like Tiger Bachmeyer is going to be our new punt returner.
Look at
High
that.
time for
And
this.
yeah, an elite position coach, Kelly Papinga, is holding a player accountable. Isn't that isn't that crazy? And then Tiger goes in and has a
Wild.
40-yard punt return and kills it. Wow, that's
Yep.
amazing. Yeah.
Crazy.
Um Papinga says that it's Tiger's job to lose, which I love. Get the Bachmeyer boys on the field as much as possible.
Yep. Yep. Also, Tiger's hair. Love it. Awesome. The braided dreads or whatever they are. I love
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Um, in our final little text, this is from Steve after the game. Just classic BYU. In the biggest surprise, BYU parking is a disaster. I thought that was just the perfect cap to the night. When I woke up, saw Sports Analyst, that was one of the first texts I saw, and I was like, checks out. We are still at square one with everything across the board at BYU. Absolutely nothing has changed from last year. Offense sucks. Defense is elite. The crowd is god tier. The special teams is electric. Holding people accountable. And BYU parking sucks. And I'm sure the student section, we need to get boots on the ground in the student section. I'm sure there's lots of drama with The Rock and how they're assigning tickets and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's my overarching take from this whole game. And I hate that I'm saying this because I don't want to believe it, but I think it might be true. Absolutely nothing has changed from last year to this year. Like I don't care who is in charge of what and who's playing quarterback. No change. We have a stupid, pathetic offense that we are lucky if they take advantage of all the short fields that the defense gives us.
Yeah, even 80% of those short. Better than 33% of those short
Right?
fields, right?
Crazy.
And people will call us negative, right? But no, show us where we're wrong. Show us where we're wrong. Here's the last thing I'll say too, and we can move on to greater and grander things. The positive, the fun thing is that this is going to inform what our pick'em bets are for the next couple weeks. We're going to have some exciting pick'em bets, like a number of bubble screens called, maybe how many
Oh
screens
yeah.
go for a loss.
Yep. Un
How many? Yeah, go ahead.
just unblocked free rushers on the
Yep.
quarterback. That's going to be
Yep.
one.
See, so we'll be able to
Yeah.
flip some of these and have some fun with the BYU
Yeah.
experience and be
Passes
excited
of
when our
10 plus air yards.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's the other thing. Bear is so accurate when we give him time. Anyways, we'll see. That's yet to be seen. We'll see if they actually let him throw the ball. Um,
Yep.
but yeah, I think that's a good summary of how I'm feeling. I feel like that was a good therapy session to just get that all out there. We're on to greater and grander things now.
I agree. I agree. We have a lot to talk about, so let's just get into it. College football week 2 was a doozy. There were some snoozers, there were some bangers, and there were some games that nobody saw coming. So this week, what we're going to do, we're going to hand out some awards. We are going to hand out some certain like superlative awards to some teams and games that we loved, and that's how we're going to talk about this weekend. So, Jessa, you want to kick things off for us?
Sure. Um, well, let's start with this one. The game of the week, right? You wrote this one down, so we'll talk about this one. But I do actually want to start with this one because it was the game of the week, maybe a top 20, top 10 game of the season. Baylor at SMU. That,
Absolute crazy.
what a crazy game. Ended up going to two overtimes. SMU had the chance in the first overtime to go for two and win the game and end the game, right? And in second overtime, did they turn the ball over?
They opted for a field goal and
And they
missed.
missed it.
Hmm.
Hey, setting the tone for the rest of the week of football, as we've seen it. Yep. So Baylor with a game-winning field goal. Um, um, yeah, that game was 45-48. Uh,
Yep.
and we'll get into some of the others, but what were your thoughts on that game?
Just an absolute banger. Just this is like the craziest. Like I had it on my side TV. I have like a projector, a TV, a monitor, and a computer. That's my setup usually. I had it on the computer for most of the time because SMU jumped out to a big lead, and I was like, "Oh, this isn't going to happen." And then eventually, it just got closer and closer. Baylor started chipping away, chipping away, chipping away. I was like, "Dave Aranda fired" to "Dave Aranda goat," and I have this running list on my phone of coaches who make stupid decisions. It's technically called coaches actively sabotaging their current programs. I need to turn off the stupid green screen thing because it keeps doing it. Anyway, week 0, Frank Reich, right? Week 2 or week 1, Deion Sanders. Week 3, we have Rhett Lashley. It is inexcusable to not go for two at the end of the first overtime. If your opponent scores a touchdown, kicks PAT, you get the ball, you score a touchdown, you have to go for two there. It is inexcusable to not go for two there. You go for two, right, for the win. If you don't, if you kick the PAT, then you have to go for two for the tie in second overtime. And it's just you have the chance to win the game and you actively give the ball to the other team basically. You just say we could win the game right here, but we are not going to do it. And that is inexcusable. So, game of the week, awesome game. Rhett Lashley, you're on the list, bro. You're on the list.
And the outcome we wanted as Big 12 and as Baylor fans, to be honest. I root for Baylor. I have no problem with Baylor.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
all right. What's another award you're handing out?
Uh, just this one is called the banger nobody watched. Now we have to preface this. We both watched this game. This was a banger. But Jessa, what is the game? I want you to talk about this one.
Michigan State versus Boston College.
Had them
Michigan
in the
State,
first
yeah.
half. Michigan State.
Michigan State, Sparty, the team that we want to be good this year, versus Boston College. It was at Michigan State. Two turnovers, almost three in the first 5 minutes. There was this crazy hurdle where a guy tried to hurdle. He jumped 6 feet in the air and then kicked the ball, fumbled the ball, and kicked it out of bounds. Like, also an overtime game decided by 2 points. Fantastic game against two middle of the pack teams. Looking at the schedule, most I think college football fans would look at that and be like, eh. But we predicted that it was going to be a good game last week, and it definitely was.
Right? We literally said last week, this is one of the games that you have to watch. Like, these are two teams that absolutely want it. The just absolute, like, elation from Michigan State when they scored. Like, the crowd is going insane. The team dogpiles the guy up against the wall, like, try to smush him. And then they pan over to the Boston College quarterback, and he is just, like, dead staring, like, off into space, like, just so sad. It is what's perfect about college football. And I guarantee you, like, not even half as many people watch that as watched like Michigan, Oklahoma,
Yeah.
which is our next award. That's Michigan, Oklahoma is the overrated matchup of the week, right? What a snooze fest. This was absolutely just boring, pitiful. Both quarterbacks, low key, like look like trash. John Mateer can't throw the football, and Bryce Underwood, I I hate to put it all on him, right? Because you know he's the one that like forced him to pay $20 million or whatever. I don't know the number. Um, Michigan's offense is just disgusting. I mean, ever since Sherrone Moore took the reins, this has been a disgusting offense to watch, and it remains so.
His seat is getting a little warm. There were some fights on the sideline between Bryce Underwood and their starting running back. Yeah, so that's a team to keep your eye on.
I
Definitely a
forgot
snoozer
about
of a
that.
game. Yep.
Huge snoozer game. Yeah, when I saw the fight between Bryce Underwood and the guy, I was like, yes.
Could you imagine a true freshman coming up to you and just getting in your face? Oh man. Mm-mm.
Right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that was
Crazy.
funny.
Yeah. No. Okay, another one. Speaking of teams that underperformed, teams that sucked, but the media will just ignore and explain away. LSU and Clemson both scored less than won games by less than 20 points against G5 opponents.
Hmm.
And the game was not that close at certain points. In fact, Clemson was down 16-3 at half
Yep.
against Troy. But the game ended 27-16, so it's okay. So they obviously an 11-point win is dominant. We can keep them ranked in the top 10. Like it's
Right.
look at their resume. A loss to LSU, who only beat Louisiana Tech by can't remember how many. What was that?
16,
27? Yeah, 27 to 14. What was it?
23-7.
23 to 7? Yeah, no, they so Clemson lost to that team. And now barely is beating Troy. Needs a second half comeback. So, but no. We're good. A win is a win for those
Right.
guys. It's
And
okay.
Jessa, they played such a hard fought game last week. It was only 7 days ago for both of these teams, plus a couple hours because they played late again. It is so hard to win a football game after playing a football game the week before. It is so hard. Okay. It is so hard to win. These teams are still so good. I'm going to add a team to the list. Texas A&M. Okay, Texas A&M won. What was it? 44-22 against Utah State. Okay, let me tell you, Utah State, Bronco Mendenhall taking over. Okay, this is a team that won what 5 games last year, and Texas A&M was in a dogfight the whole second half. Like they were not safe. They never just ran up the score. Like these are teams sell, sell, sell. Obviously, everybody, if you're paying attention to college football, these teams sell.
Yep, there are teams that are actually good that hurt my heart, right? That are actually strong in these power conferences, but these three are not. LSU,
Yeah.
Clemson, and Texas A&M are showing fraudulent signs.
Huge fraud alerts going off.
Yep.
Speaking of frauds, this next award goes to it is called the Oh Brother, This Guy Stinks Team of the Week. And we have two nominees. Actually, they're just two award winners. West Virginia, okay, you go on the road to Ohio and lose. Like, I don't care how good of a MAC team Ohio is, you're West Virginia. You're a Big 12 team. If you're losing to Ohio, thou you stink, okay? This ain't no King Lamoni situation. You do stink to me, okay? Um, Second one, Kansas State. You lost to a team that lost to an FCS school, and you almost lost to an FCS school. Kansas State is so bad. I've never felt so good about that take we had last week. Sell.
Agreed. I don't have anything to add. Those two losses are inexcusable for Pete Fort. Fire their coaches. Let's move on.
Yep.
My goodness. All right, let's see. Okay, I gotta give a good one to our week two Heisman. And it's a game we've already talked about. Sawyer Robinson. All right, let me pull
Yep.
up his stat line. This dude is an absolute gamer. All right? Again, won the game double overtime 48-45. 448 passing yards, 34 for 50,
Oh my
four
gosh.
touchdowns through the air, and a win. All right? That is
Crazy.
those are Heisman numbers. And SMU, I mean, they're a good team. And it was away as well. So I love to see him catching stride and living up to expectations. That's my week two Heisman.
Yep. I'm totally with you. Absolute banger of a quarterback. I low key wish we had him on the team. I have one. It's called the Hold Your Horses game of the week. This is Oregon at Oklahoma State. Not going to spend too much time on this. We're running out of Zoom time, but don't everybody just go claim Oregon as a national title contender. Okay? This is what they do. They beat the snot out of teams that they are able to beat the snot out of. Okay? Like remember in 23, and they just smacked Colorado, like literally beat their brains in with a 2x4, and then they lost to Washington twice. Okay? This is what Dan Lanning does. He loves to beat up on small teams. Everybody thinks he's good. Can't win the big one. So just hold your horses.
You know who Dan Lanning is? Dan Lanning is the AAU coach who has his 10th graders reclassify as 8th graders and play in the 8th grade league. But then when they get mad and they tell him to go play in the 10th grade league, he loses every game. That's who Dan Lanning is. All right, moving on.
Yep.
The honorary Arch Manning he might be award. DJ Lagway, welcome to the show. Welcome, welcome. The chosen one. The true freshman that is always injured has showed one full game of game tape where he is a competent quarterback. Oh, it turns out starting your first season in the SEC, it's really hard. Guess what? Didn't even have to be in the SEC. They played USF this week, and lost at home, and he looked below average at home
Yep.
against a G4, G5, G6, whatever
Whatever we're calling them.
opponent. DJ Lagway, sorry the media did that to you. Welcome to the Overrated Show.
Yep, yep. This sounds a lot like Anthony Richardson, honestly. Sounds like he's going to go like number 4 overall in the draft to a team that's going to be like, wait, who the crap is this guy? We told you. We told you loud and clear when Anthony Richardson could only muster up 19 points against USF 2 years ago, and we're telling you now with DJ Lagway.
Yep.
Jessa, our last award. This one is one that is very close to our hearts. It's called The Biggest Loser, and this is not positive. This is not we lost the most weight. This team sucks. Take it away.
Utah. I'm
Of
just kidding.
course.
Any opportunity to bring that up. Kansas had it in their hands and let it slip away to a mid-tier SEC team that is not that good. Missouri.
Absolutely shameful. And Jess, we have less than a minute, so we're going to be kicked off whenever this happens. But the Big 12 had a rough week. Kansas State, Kansas, West Virginia. Let's boot them from the conference. And let's kick Utah out, too, for that stupid uniform announcement video.
Yeah, I agree. Go Big 12. The good teams in the Big 12. I agree. I think
The
we
good
need all
teams.
new coaches. I'm optimistic for the
Uh,
future.
anyway, we will be back with you on Thursday morning with a preview of week 3 of college football and maybe a little NFL talk.
Who
You never
knows?
know.
Hey, we're good on time. It's good.
Oh yeah,
This minute,
this is
this last
perfect.
minute
Now
is, yeah.